Your water bill last July, what was it? $80? $120? Maybe more? Now here's the question nobody asks out loud. How much of that was just keeping your tomatoes alive? Because here's what actually happens during a normal summer. Outdoor watering can double your water bill. The average American family spends around $1,000 a year on water, and about half of that, roughly $500, goes straight out of a garden hose. Not inside the house, not in the shower, not running the dishwasher. Just trying to keep vegetables from dying in the heat. And that's in a normal year. Now add a drought. Add a watering ban. Add the phone alert from your city, saying lawn irrigation is restricted to 1 day a week. Now you're watching your garden dry out in real time, with a hose in your hand that you're legally not supposed to use. Tampa Bay enforced Stage 2 water restrictions earlier this year. New Mexico limits outdoor watering hours during the warm season. Cape Cod has cut residents to 1 outdoor watering day per week during drought periods. This is not some fringe weather story from a dry desert state. This is what gardening in the United States is becoming. But here is what those water restriction notices almost never mention. There is a category of water in your home that is specifically excluded from most outdoor watering bans. It is not rainwater. It is not well water. It is water that has already run through your shower, your bathroom sink, and your washing machine. Water that is heading straight to the sewer the second it drains. Water you already paid for once. Water that is completely legal to redirect onto your garden in most states, without any permit at all. That water has a name. It's called Greywater. And today I'm going to show you how to build a complete gravity-fed greywater system. No pumps, no electricity, no complicated plumbing, for about $25. A system that collects used water from your washing machine, runs it through a simple sand and gravel filter, and delivers it directly to your garden beds through perforated PVC pipes. Automatically. Every time you do a load of laundry. Let me start with the basics, because a lot of people have the wrong idea about what greywater actually is. Greywater is not sewage. Sewage, what's technically called black water, is what comes from your toilet. That stuff needs serious treatment. Nobody is talking about putting that near food. Greywater is the water from your shower, bathtub, bathroom sinks and washing machine. It contains some soap, maybe a little lint, a trace of body oils from bathing. But no fecal matter, no major pathogens, nothing that makes it dangerous when it absorbs into the soil around your garden. Plants absolutely do not care that the water got soapy before it reached their roots. In fact, many standard liquid soaps contain trace amounts of potassium, which is a fertilizer nutrient. The plants are not suffering, they're just getting watered. Here's the scale of what we're talking about. A typical shower uses between 17 and 25 gallons of water. A bathroom sink running for a minute uses about a gallon. A single washing machine cycle, depending on the model, uses between 15 and 45 gallons. A family of 4 doing laundry 4 times a week is producing between 60 and 180 gallons of greywater per week from the washing machine alone. That is more than enough to water a substantial vegetable garden through the hottest months of the year without touching the outdoor faucet once. Research from Colorado State University found that in arid regions like Southern California, household-level greywater reuse can offset up to 13% of total household water use, significantly outperforming even large rain barrel sit-ups, which max out at around 5%. The difference is simple. Rain barrels are empty half the summer. Greywater flows every single day, whether it rains or not. A typical family of 4 that sets up a proper greywater system can redirect up to 40,000 gallons of already used water per year back into their garden instead of the sewer. Multiple state water agencies have documented that using greywater for irrigation can cut outdoor water consumption by 50 to 80%. And independent estimates put annual savings on water bills at $300 to $500 for a household that runs this kind of system through the warm months. At $25 to build, that is a return on investment that almost nothing else in home improvement can touch. Now let's talk about what actually stops most people from building one of these. The word system makes people nervous. They picture permits, contractors, cutting into walls, soldering copper pipe, inspectors walking through the house. That picture is almost completely wrong. The washing machine is the perfect starting point for a greywater build, specifically because the machine already pumps the water out on its own. You don't have to intercept anything inside the wall. The drain hose from your washer exits the machine with enough pressure to push water several feet. All you are doing is redirecting where that hose goes. And the reason the whole thing can be done for $25 is that you only need 3 things: a diverter valve, a filter bucket, and a short run of perforated PVC pipe. Everything is available at a standard hardware store. Nothing requires special skills. The entire installation, from unpacking materials to running your first TIS load, takes about 2 hours. Here is exactly what you need. First, the diverter valve. This 3-way valve connects to your washing machine's drain hose. One position sends the water to the sewer as normal. The other position sends it to your greywater system. Cost $8 to $12. This is the single most important part of the entire build. And here's why. You are going to use it deliberately. Every time you wash a load with bleach, every time the ground outside is already saturated from rain, every time you wash something you don't want near your food plants, you flip that valve and the water goes to the sewer like it always has. The diverter valve is your control switch. It keeps you completely in charge. Second, the filter bucket. Take a standard 5-gallon bucket, about $3 to $4, and drill 8 to 10 small drainage holes in the bottom. Then layer the inside like this. On the bottom, put 2 to 3 inches of coarse gravel. This is your drainage layer. On top of that, add 4 to 5 inches of coarse sand. This is your actual filtration layer. It catches lint, particles, and fine debris from the wash water. On top of the sand, put another 2 inches of coarse gravel. This is your distribution layer. It spreads the incoming water evenly across the surface, so it doesn't blast through the sand and carve channels in it. That's it. That is the entire filter. Gravel and sand together cost $2 to $4 at a hardware store. 1 bucket, 3 layers, done. Third, the distribution pipe. This is what carries filtered water out to your garden beds. Take a standard 1-inch PVC pipe, 10 to 15 feet, depending on how far your beds are from the house, and drill 1/4-inch holes every 12 inches along one side of the pipe. Those holes are your emitters. Kept both ends. Run the pipe from the filter bucket out to the garden with a 1/4-inch drop for every foot of horizontal distance. That slope is what moves the water. No electricity, no pump. Gravity does everything. A 10-foot section of 1-inch PVC runs $4 to $6. With fittings, you stay comfortably under $8. Add it up. Diverter valve, $10. Filter bucket and media, $7. PVC pipe and fittings, $8. Total, $25. That's the build. Now let's walk through the installation step by step. Step 1. Position your filter bucket outside the house, near where your washing machine drain hose exits the building. The bucket needs to sit higher than your garden beds. Even a few inches of elevation is enough to create gravity flow. If your laundry room is on the first floor, this usually means setting the bucket on a couple of cinder blocks. The more elevation difference between your filter bucket and the garden beds, the better and more even the flow. Step 2. Install the diverter valve on the washing machine drain hose. Your machine's drain hose is the corrugated flexible tube that currently runs from the back of the washer up into the standpipe in your wall. Pull it out of the standpipe gently. Attach the diverter valve in line. It connects directly to standard drain hose fittings. One outlet goes back into the standpipe for normal sewer drainage. The other outlet gets a new run of flexible hose that goes outside to your filter bucket. From this moment on, you have a choice every time you do laundry. Flip the valve one way, water goes to the sewer. Flip it the other way, water goes to the garden. Step 3. Connect the filter bucket outlet to your distribution pipe. Attach a short PVC elbow fitting to the drainage holes at the bottom of the bucket. This feeds directly into your main distribution pipe running toward the garden. Where you have more than one garden bed, use T-junction fittings to split the flow. Run a branch to each bed. Every branch terminates in a capped, perforated pipe laid flat alongside your plants, right at soil level. Step 4. Test it. Run a normal load of laundry. No bleach, no heavy chemicals, with the valve pointed toward the garden. Watch the filter bucket. Watch the pipe. The water should move slowly through the gravel and sand, exit through the bottom, travel down the slope of the PVC pipe, and seep into the soil through those 1/4-inch holes. If water pools at the entry point, your slope isn't steep enough. If it rushes through without filtering, add more sand. The ideal flow is a slow, steady seep, not a flood, not a trickle. That is the entire build. $25, 2 hours on a weekend, and your garden is on free water from here on out. Now let me be straight with you about a few things, because most videos on this topic skip the parts that could get you in trouble. Soap matters a lot. Conventional liquid laundry detergents break down in soil quickly. What you absolutely cannot send through this system is bleach, or any detergent containing boron or borax. Boron builds up in soil over time and eventually kills plants. Not right away, but steadily over a season or two. Before you redirect your laundry water, check your detergent label. If it contains borax, swap it out. Greywater safe detergents are specifically formulated for this purpose and run about $10 to $15 per bottle. They clean just as well and they don't poison your soil. The diverter valve is non-negotiable. The most common mistake in DIY greywater builds is plumbing the system permanently and removing the ability to switch back to the sewer. Then the homeowner washes a load with bleach, forgets the valve is set to the garden, and sends bleach-saturated water directly onto vegetable beds. $8.30 of flipping a handle prevents this entirely. Do not skip the valve. Check your state before you build. Simple laundry-to-landscape greywater systems are explicitly permitted without a permit in California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Montana, Oregon, and several other states. California legalized no-permit greywater systems in 2016, specifically for laundry-to-landscape setups, provided the water stays below the soil surface. Arizona allows residents to reuse up to 400 gallons of greywater per day without any permit whatsoever. If you're in a state not mentioned, check your county water authority website. A large number of places that had restrictions 5 years ago have quietly loosened them as drought conditions have spread across the country. And one food safety rule to know. You can absolutely use greywater on vegetable gardens, but the water needs to go into the soil, not onto the leaves. Ground level delivery, which is exactly what a perforated pipe provides, is safe for food crops. The soil filters out any remaining residue before it ever reaches the root zone. Do not use greywater with a sprinkler or any system that sprays water through the air. Keep it at ground level in the dirt, and there is no safety concern. Now let's do the math. because this is where it gets really interesting. Summer lawn and garden watering costs the average American homeowner between $50 and $200 a month during peak season. The national average water rate runs around $5 to $10 per 1,000 gallons. A 500 square foot vegetable garden needs roughly 300 gallons per week to stay healthy in summer heat. At $10 per 1,000 gallons, that's $3 a week. Over a 16-week growing season, that's $48. Doesn't sound catastrophic until you're watering a larger plot, or living somewhere where water rates are higher, or dealing with the drought restrictions that force you to be extra careful with every drop. What this $25 system does is take the washing machine's output, water you already paid for once to wash your clothes, and route it to the garden instead of the drain. You do not pay for it again. The washing machine cycle costs what it costs, regardless of where the water goes. The moment you flip that diverter valve, the irrigation water becomes free. Permanently. For the life of the system. People who have built these setups have reported running the same filter bucket and the same PVC pipes for 5, 6, 7 years without replacement. The gravel and sand in the filter occasionally needs a rinse. Once or twice a year, pull out the media, rinse it with a garden hose, put it back. Total maintenance time, 20 minutes. Total replacement cost over a decade, essentially zero. Contrast that with a professional in-ground irrigation system. Install cost, $1,500 to $5,000 for an average yard. Monthly water bill increase, $50 to $200 during irrigation season. Ongoing maintenance, annual blowouts, valve replacements. And none of that protects you from a drought ban, because the ban applies to that system directly. This Greywater setup is specifically and legally exempt from most outdoor watering restrictions because you are not drawing on municipal supply. You are reusing water that is already being consumed inside the house. When your neighbour gets cited for running their sprinklers on a ban day, your garden is still getting watered. Automatically. From laundry you were going to do anyway. Spring is exactly the right time to do this. The plants are going in the ground right now. Summer heat and summer water bills are 6 to 8 weeks out. If you build this on a weekend in late April or early May, it is already running by the time your tomatoes need daily watering in July. By August, when your neighbours are watching their bills climb past $150 a month for outdoor water, your washing machine is handling the irrigation entirely for free. The build takes 2 hours. The materials cost $25, and it runs itself every single time you do laundry for years. One more thing before we wrap up. The system described today, washing machine to filter bucket to garden, is the simplest and cheapest version of Greywater reuse. It handles one water source and it handles it well. But once you understand how gravity-fed Greywater works, the same logic scales naturally. Your shower produces 15 to 25 gallons. Your bathroom sink produces a gallon or two per use. A household with 2 bathrooms and 4 people is generating over 100 gallons a day just from those 2 sources, completely separate from laundry. Capturing shower and sink Greywater requires a slightly different approach. The water flows by gravity from inside the house rather than being pumped out by a machine, but it's still fully DIY. If you want a dedicated video on expanding this system to shower and sink water, drop a comment below. And speaking of getting the most out of every drop, the next video covers a $10 self-filling irrigation system that delivers water directly to your plant roots using capillary action. No hoses, no timers, no daily watering chore. The system pulls moisture toward root zones automatically, on demand, with almost zero waste and zero evaporation. No running outside with a watering can, no sprinklers blasting water into the air where half of it evaporates before it ever hits the soil. If today's Greywater system is your free water source, that next system is your perfect delivery method. 2 things that cost a combined $35 and your summer watering routine is basically solved. That one's coming up